Hello and welcome to Presence Practice with Poonam and Parker. Hey, Poonam.
Hey, Parker.
Hello.
Hi.
So the title for today's video is Your No is as good as your yes. I find myself saying this quite often to people. Your no is as good as your yes. And so I thought we could turn it into a topic because there may be those of you who have the pattern, maybe people pleasing pattern, or maybe you have heard someone say that we say yes to everything and have confused that with saying yes to everything. So by saying, so it's kind of like, what does that mean then? So I thought that Poonam, you and I could discuss what that really means, because most everything is a paradox. Maybe everything even there's a paradox, because we're always considering the horizontal relative dimension as well as the vertical dimension, that which is eternal. So it has a different perspective oftentimes than the relative perspective. So your no is as good as your yes. So in any situation, even if it's a situation that's challenging for us, we can still say yes to it, because that's where the point of sanity is. That is what's happening, the facts of the situation, not the story. So maybe somebody goes to the store and they're having lean times, there's not very much money happening, and they get their credit card is declined and they don't have another card with them in the long line behind them, and everyone's watching. So their whole energy field, and we could start telling a story about that, right? So, and we could tell a story about why that shouldn't be happening, how we were prepared before we went, and it's an error on their side, and maybe it is, right? But we accept the situation and the facts of the situation. I'm at line at the grocery store. They are not accepting this card. There is no money for what's in the cart. Those are the facts. What do I need to do next? And we move from that place, and so whether it's an action that we do or a response to someone that requires a yes or a no, it comes from that clear, present, living in the now, no reactivity. It comes directly from that. So it doesn't mean that we can't take corrective action. Let's say we're around a deeply unconscious person. Maybe it's our dentist. We're in the dental chair and it's the dentist, and they won't stop talking, and they're moving from one need to feel superior topic to another, right? You can see the unconsciousness. We don't say that that's just where it is. That's a story. That's just where they're at right now. That's the story. Well, this is what's helpful for me, Jack Cornfield, and his label, to be able to see it and own it as a fact. There is unconsciousness, and then we let it be, right? When we don't know what else is there, they may be telling a real fun story or something we need to learn. Just because it's unconscious doesn't mean that it won't be useful. In some traditions, the ego is right to life. It's right to life. But let's say we're in a situation and the energy feels all wrong and we want to move. We don't want to be in that situation anymore. The no comes from a clear, high quality space. And sometimes you just find yourself walking away, but you're not running away to get away from them because you made a judgment about it. You just don't want to be there anymore. Maybe you get up and go. None of this requires that much thought. In fact, it's amazing how few thoughts are actually useful. Meditation gives the illusion of a well-disciplined mind, but it's really just dropping anything that's not of a high quality vibration. So no complaining mind, violent mind, judging. You just can be okay with the simplicity of things. And from that space, a high quality no, as Eckhart refers to it, a high quality no may come up. And the high quality no may be just walking away or knowing what's not right for you in that moment. But the no doesn't have any complaint attached to it. It doesn't need to explain itself. There's no needing or wanting in it. It's just a very clear no. Not no. Or no, just no. Very simple. This is not right for me. And I see people really listening often to their good high quality no's. I know it because a lot of waking up people, they'll reschedule appointments and move things around because in that moment there's something else that is calling them. And I rejoice that they can feel what is right for them and be able to communicate it. And we can, without having to analyze it, we can know whether it's a high quality no if there's any reactivity inside of us. And that could be defensive reactivity. It could be people pleasing reactivity, meaning like the anxiety of what will this person think of me if I say no to this? Oh, these are all just stories and we can drop them. We just have to notice them and then drop them if we're ready. It's good to know where our no is in life, like what it is that we require on the horizontal. And if we're well connected in the vertical dimension, and we can touch that stillness and silence underneath and between words and traffic and birds and sound and the humming in some cities, the humming in the air. And the yes becomes far more enriched. You just, the yeses are like, yes. And the no's could be that way too. What do you think, Poonam? No.
I think Byron Katie has a very sweet way of saying it. She says a no means a yes to the universe.
I like that.
So when we are aligned with the planetary intelligence, then we may say no to something, but it is what the universe wants us to do at that moment. And so it is a yes.
Yes.
That is what is that is what is required out of us in that moment. The consciousness that's expressing itself through us, that's what is needed. Like for me right now, like practical examples are, if somebody were to say, hey, can you come meet us for a happy hour or something, there is a no, there's a definite no, and there's a peace behind it, because that's not an activity I any longer have any contribution towards. Like if somebody were to say, hey, let's go to the movies, I have not watched movies in, I don't even know how many years. So I would very gladly, very peacefully say, no, thank you. I have plans for this evening, and come home and meditate, like do my shower and meditate. So that is more important to me than anything else in the world. So
yes, I would say yes to movies myself. I enjoy, especially that are foreign to me, films so much. I feel like there's an integrity to story making that I enjoy, and I learn so much about other cultures and their language. Sometimes I try to learn their language, and can be very challenging. Or you can see also, it's also interesting because it's very easy to see the patterns in ourselves and and even easier to see other people's. But when you can see it culturally, like I'm sure you can see things living, what a gift you are to the US and to North America and the Western culture to come from the East to the West, because you can see the patterns, because your patterns, the cultural patterns where you're at are very different. And you can see that it's all insanity though, right? The no, what gets said no to and why, and what the impulse is. It just seems very elementary when you're standing outside of it. I enjoy it immensely, and I enjoy a wonderful storyline arc where I see a character really grow and evolve their heart. But it's a gratuitous movie. There's, like anything else with any other art form, there's the very superficial. It has a place, and then there's different, and even some art noir is very dark and kind of dense and has the same gratuitous feeling as like violent movies that try to make an interesting storyline by pulling on your heartstrings around dead pets and children and spouses in violent ways. Yeah, no, we get and all the one more thing about this, and all the superheroes, like if you look at their arc, they all tell the story. Now maybe not today with how they franchised and made all these comic books superficial, but the whole storyline was this inspiring character that came from the most humble and nondescript, oftentimes, or challenging childhood to realize a superpower, which is for us is to be allegorically our Christ consciousness waking up. It's our to remain at peace, to have that beautiful, peaceful energy field. And any movie that does that, I think, is really beautiful. That's all I had to say about that. I'm very curious what you have to say about this, Tuna. Thank you for letting me finish.
You're most welcome. The other part of it that I wanted to say is, once we say no, there is no story after it. That, oh, look at my life, I can't even go to a happy hour. There may be times that people say no because financially they're not able to afford something, right? Like you were talking about the grocery, your card doesn't work. You have a grocery cart of food. The no right then is, okay, I'm not able to afford these groceries. And that's it. There's no story, oh my God, look at me, look at poor little me. Never am I able to eat the things that I want or cook the things that I want. Similarly, like since I was a single mom, like a lot of single mothers have a lot of stories behind, because you have to make a sacrifice, right? That now you're the only parent that is going to come take care of this kid. So maybe somebody invited me to a happy hour at work, and I have to go pick up my son exactly at 6:30. So I have to say no, right? And so that no at that point ends. Peace. Have that peaceful joy that, okay, I said no, and no more stories of, oh, look at my poor little life, I can never enjoy anything, right? I cannot ever go to a happy hour because I have to go take care of this kid. That's all ego.
Yes. Or people that are afraid to say no. I really want to address this, that are afraid to say no because they will get, it's a fear-based saying no. They'll get fired from their job, or someone will be disappointed, or there's disapproval. Leave other people alone. Let it be their thing. If they have that thought, it may not, the thought's probably just in your head. Let's drop it. We drop the story, and then coming from that clarity, there's no manipulation. That's just as manipulative, really, to need other people say yes. I mean, and it also creates a duality in us and them, right? There's no oneness in that because the other person is the person that you're trying to impress with a role. Now you're into role playing, and now you're depleting precious energy. You're no longer flowing from inside out. You're in your mind walking through an unconscious pattern. So high quality knows.
As Byron Katie says, God spare me from the desire to seek approval, appreciation, and love from anyone else. Amen. So that people pleasing of,
yes.
I have to say yes so that I can please the other, does not work, because it's still the ego
Yes.
playing roles. Thank you, Parker.
Yes.
Amazing topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Puna.